Folks, we are live. Welcome to the Random Party Generator RPG live stream. I am one of your hosts, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. Stage right, my left, I guess,
Hmm.
none other than Rob Batniata Conley.
And Rob's paused. That's it, huh, Rob? That's
There we go.
that's all. It's all you get. Little toodles with wave
I
hand
get
there.
a little too. I get a
Hey
little
guys,
too.
how you doing?
I don't. I don't even get a reach
I'm behind
around.
the prep curve here, so
I get it. I get a toodles, not even a reach. I get a, I get a toodles.
okay, hold on. There you go,
Oh,
Eric.
Rob, makes me feel better. Thank you. And
Now, wouldn't
Richard,
it be creepy if my hand did actually appear on the other side?
be kind of cool. You should time it with Rachel reaching over.
oh god,
You know.
Now that would
that,
give people something to talk about.
they'd be like, "What the hell's going
Oh.
on
Well,
there?"
what these guys can't see are where my two hands are. I'm lifting them up in the air. You can imagine where they're ending up right now. So, oh,
Yes, hands in the air like you just don't
that's
care.
why
Oh
Rob
my,
is. That's why Rob
my,
is smiling.
my aching shoulders. Um, Matt Jackson, who is not with us tonight, causing troubles in the background.
Yeah, he's like the old man. And remember the Peanuts? Not the Peanuts. The Peanut Gallery. Those two old bastards in the Muppet Show. Those
Ah,
two old cranky
oh
bastards.
yeah.
That's like Matt in the background, up in the like heckling everything from these
Hey,
ancient people. Yeah,
fuzzy, yeah, I know what you guys are talking about. Yeah, get your fat ass stuff to
yeah,
stage, you
yeah.
incompetent boob.
Yeah, just two old men, which Matt really counts as two old cranky men, two old bald cranky men. Yeah, that's it.
Well, a man and his ladder cannot be separated.
That's
Okay,
true. That's true.
especially if you fall on it the wrong way.
Hmm.
Um, Below, playing the role of Asmodeus tonight is none other than Joe the lawyer.
Hello, Asmodii. What is the plural of Asmodeus? Asmodii, Asmodium. What is it?
Multiple Asmodeus.
Asmodeus. Yeah.
Asmodeus. So if I'm acting a little punch drunk, you can blame Wizard Tower Games, Don, and Tabletop Taproom, Tom, because we just did an hour and 40-minute live stream right before the show. I had a 20-minute, and since I know that Rob is never fucking late, and Rach was laughing at me, it's like I got to run to the bathroom, run down and get dinners from the downstairs fridge, and then log in so Rob can log in. So so I don't get. I don't get
Don't blame me for your troubles.
No, I wasn't in trouble at all.
There at 7:45.
Rachel's like, he's gonna be there at 7:45. You only got 2 minutes. You better move.
Rob is a prompt motherfucker. I gotta say, you're a prompt guy, Rob. Me, I'm gonna come
No,
scrambling.
it's a concept. It's a concept called a clock.
Oh, who has those anymore? We have cell phones.
Yeah. I knew about that clock thing, Rob. It wasn't the clock thing that was the problem. It was the lack of time available that the clock thing denied me. That was the problem. So we have a few things. By the way, we're going to give away a secret. We did so much prep for the show, you won't believe it.
You said that with a straight face too. That's pretty impressive.
Literally,
No, we're role players. If you can't do it with
Literally,
a straight face,
That's true. That's true.
You know, I've said the story before. When I was a cop and I didn't know what to do, it was always role play being a cop. All right, fuck it.
Fake it till you make it.
So,
what the hell is Tabletop Tat Room talking about? First off, apologies to Joe the lawyer for having to call me out 3 weeks ago. I was out of line and you were right. What the hell did I do?
When it was, I think it was 2 weeks ago, when he was blowing up Graph Paper Architect, like
I still don't know what the fuck that was all about. I wasn't calling
So listen. If you go to the Tabletop Tap Room and you catch tonight's live stream, watch for the first 10 minutes, maybe 15, you'll know exactly what was going on. But here, I'll give you the brief synopsis.
Right.
So for a while now, we had a group of 4 who were all in the position of tell me where TSR touched you, right? It was like a support group. It was the secret cabal. But then one day, we start getting feedback about stuff that happened in the cabal from an anonymous email source. So it was like, whoa, I think we got a leak. And me being the investigative heavyweight that I am, wink, wink, was like, well, time to start feeding out false information and see what comes back individually. And individually, it came back and indicated a Mr. Michael Havermill. So, that then, as an aside note, because it became part of the conversation on the earlier live stream, there was a bankruptcy hearing on Monday. Now, I attended it, and I was listed as a creditor. I am no longer a creditor of TSR. The TSR trustee apparently has no interest in proceeding with a legal action against me.
Wait, step back up. Wait, the lawsuit's over?
No, the TSR, there were 3 entities involved in it.
Okay.
One of them is going bankrupt and has no longer any interest in it.
Yeah.
So I wish it was that simple. However, if I was Wizards of the Coast, I'd be very happy because, in my personal opinion, Joe, I don't know if you've ever been, if you've ever seen a bankruptcy hearing.
No.
All right.
No.
So apparently, there were like 5. There were 2 trustees and 5. It was all Zoom. It was great, and it's the interested parties, and it's the parties declaring bankruptcy. And most bankruptcy hearings apparently take about 5-10 minutes. It's like, yeah, so what's all your debt? Credit card debt. All right. I got your bank statements. So you got like $76 in your bank account? Yep. You want a car? Yeah, 2002, Datsun or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and they go, all right, good luck, and yeah, you're good. You're good to see. You're done. All right. So this total hearing lasted 2.5 hours. The last hour and a half was TSR, and it ended with there will likely be depositions in the near future.
So I think someone's lying. Is that the implication here?
The implication is that I would say
hiding assets.
Somebody was not prepared, and that the majority of contracts between the individual in question, who was in charge of TSR, and the Dutch and Hobby Shop Museum LLC, were all verbal contracts. So that's like me and myself and I sitting down and having a verbal contract.
Have you ever talked to yourself? I mean, as we get older, we all tend to do that sometimes.
I just haven't finalized contracts with myself.
Yeah, you haven't made any legal arrangements with yourself?
No. So that
I do. I make an arrangement with myself. Like, for example, I told myself today that I'm not going to eat any junk food, and yet I'm looking at a bag of popcorn in my lap right now. So I've made a deal with myself that I won't eat half of this bag of popcorn.
See, now,
so
popcorn is a less nasty food.
Well, actually, the name brand of this popcorn is Lesser Evil, and it's healthy, clean, organic, and that's my justification. So I've made a deal. And I'm going to carry through on my end of it.
And makes you poop better. So what happened at the hearing is that one Michael Havermill added themselves as a creditor, saying that they had an unpaid debt of $58,000, I think it was, in salary that was never paid to them. And to support their claim, they submitted a data dump of 257 pages of text messages. Now,
holy shit!
Yes,
that's something you don't dispose of in 10 minutes.
Well, that was never even entered into the questioning and the review, and that was just entered for trustee. We can look at this later. Well, if you submit that in a bankruptcy hearing, guess what it becomes? It becomes public.
Ooh. Well, there's your next 2 weeks of videos.
So in these text messages between receiver and sender. Sender being Michael Hovermail. Sender receiver being Michael Hovermail. Sender being the other party that shall not be mentioned right now, but is currently in that bankruptcy court situation. There are things like TSR was only formed to be sued by Wizards of the Coast and is meant to be sacrificed. And OSR Games is where it's really at. It's going back 2 years. That Duck and Ernie were trying to trade shares between the Dungeon Hobby Shop and TSR. And it's like, why are they trading shares? It's one entity.
Well, there's a phrase in the legal world called piercing the corporate veil. It usually applies to when a corporation is a corporation on paper, but in actuality, it's not really a corporation. It's run by Joe Schmo, and Joe Schmo is the corporation. You have to do certain things to make it look like and act like an actual legal entity that exists on its own. That may or may not come into play here if it's not a true, real corporation.
Well,
for example, if you actually run a payroll and take out FICA tax and federal tax and state and local, that's a good sign that you are an actual corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a licensing agreement, according to testimony. We're not even going to go to the 257 page right now. There's a licensing agreement between TSR and the Dungeon Hobby Shop. And the agreement is that TSR will basically rent or lease its TSR labeling at $1 per product and be the publisher of record, but not the owner of anything. So if I am making 1,000 board games under the TSR label, Dungeon Hobby Shop is paying $1,000 to TSR, and Dungeon Hobby Shop owns all the stock and the rights. And that's a contract.
Yep.
And the contract is a handshake.
Huh. With himself. So he's playing with himself. Is that what you're saying?
So, I mean, that kind of, and by the way, so theoretically, it was the Dungeon Crawl board game had 1,000 copies. So that means TSR got paid 1,000 copies, which covers rent for one of its offices in one state, but it has 2 offices paying a monthly rent of 1,000 per state. So $2,000 a month in rent. It made $1,000 on 1,000 board games.
What a shit show!
Exactly.
What a fucking shit show!
Well, are you guys? Shall we turn to something that's more in your guys' wheelhouse?
Well, I want to just mention one last thing because it's
okay. Fair enough.
I'm going to go back. So that 257-page data dump. That, hey, Mr. Trustee, don't even worry about looking at it, but this proves that I was an employee, is being crowd sourced, crowd reviewed, crowd read.
Oh boy.
By the community pulling stuff out, and apparently they're forwarding it to the trustee. This data dump, by the way, includes contact information, phone numbers for luminaries in the industry like Tim Cass, Frank Metzner, Larry Elmore, the guys behind Clownfish TV.
Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah. All right. So,
so somebody can go and download this now?
What's up? Yeah, you could. So, when the individual who submitted this to the court found out that it was now a public record and accessible by everybody, panic mode set in, and it was like, how do I get this back? How do I retract this? How do I unsubmit this? How many people do you think have looked at this? And my guess at this point is probably dozens at the lowest, hundreds at the highest.
You can't get it back. You can't put it back in a bottle. I mean, you're done. It's out there.
Right. It's so, and it's like, how do you? And I don't believe that. I'm not even sure if they're terrified by the amount of private information that was given away, or the amount of damning information that was given away.
Yeah.
Because there's some pretty damning stuff. So that's what's out there. Just throwing that out there.
So
So
is this individual who submitted the what was his name?
Michael Hovermill, yes.
Havermill. Was he a participant in this whole TSR shenanigan,
He
or
was.
is he one of the victims?
Nope. He was an initial participant, got hired as public relations director, and I think chief creative officer. He was allowed to pick his own titles. The argument is whether he was a full-time volunteer or was he an actual employee that didn't get paid. My review of the 257 pages, which I will admit, I did not read every word. I did that Evelyn Wood speed reading, look for keywords, and move on. I didn't see. I saw a lot of call yourself whatever you want. Anybody, if you want to be,
It's very progressive. Actually, very progressive.
yeah. If you want to be head bird watcher as your title, whatever. I didn't see anything about talking salary, so I don't know.
Wow, that's a shit show.
Should we so somebody should submit him as to Oxford as the very definition of ironic justice.
You know, oh my!
With a 250-page footnote, a verbal ass wipe. Yeah, there you go. Jesus Christ.
I am sure he was thinking, "Oh, I can get one last grift out of this and get my salary that I was promised and didn't realize."
Well,
right. I guess the feeling is, you know what? File for it, because I'm assuming salary gets paid out before court cases, right? If you're a debtor and you're owed salary. So I don't think that TSR would care that somebody made money, that didn't go to WotC. I think they'd be happy. Like, oh, yeah, give that guy money and it doesn't go to WotC. Hoo-hoo. But
man,
okay.
I don't mind that the clownfish people. I mean, I don't want to see anybody doxxed, but I don't like those guys because they were all rah bandwagon that guy, right? I used to watch the show all the time, listen to it. But first of all, the format of the show, they'll spend 5 minutes previewing what they're going to talk about. And then the wife gets on and just yaks about nonsense and never shuts the fuck up. And then he has to rail her back in, get onto the topic. 15 minutes later, it took 15, 20 minutes to talk about something that should have taken 3 fucking minutes. But he was all about the band is back, the boys are back, like your topic here, right? The old TSR is back and we're in business. And he was all rah-rah about the whole fucking thing. And I'm like, motherfucker, you don't know shit. You don't know anything that's going on. This when all this stuff was coming out and he wasn't following it, but he's all rah-rah. So I don't mind for all his misinformation and false information and shoddy reporting. I don't mind that he's getting some grief out of this. Like I said, I don't want to see anybody doxxed. I mean, but I don't mind that he's getting some agina out of this. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? In my research, I stumbled across a YouTuber who I didn't think would have any clue. And they didn't have any clue, but I didn't even think they'd be wired in enough to even know the TSR existed. And that was Quarter Black Garrett, who used to be
really no shit.
The third chair on Crowder. I found a video of him talking about it, and all pro TSR.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
Damn. No, I wouldn't have thought that.
I was
at all.
Yeah. So, all right,
Well,
Rob.
okay,
you were tossing the ball, Rob. You got the ball.
Rob has been itching to show us this big surprise. He's been talking about it. So let's hear what it is.
You guys, I know you both enjoy the finer things of life. You both enjoy your beer, your whiskey, and other drink, right? Well, and obviously,
I just like getting drunk,
Rob. Teetotaler, and this would be the last thing you expect to come from me.
All right.
But I want you to present.
What is this? What have we got here? The hell we got?
This
what is that?
The Endless Star Peach.
What is it?
I have a mead named after me.
The Rob Connolly mead?
No, it's the Endless Star mead. You always mocked me for running a LARP chapter and playing LARPs back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And my most well-known character was a guy named Endless Star. And a couple of the people I ran with that were part of the chapter when I was running. Uh, they decided they needed a change of venue for
All
what they
right.
do in life, and they opened up a meadery here in Meadville
Perfect.
where they brew mead the old-fashioned way, because apparently most people, when they brew mead, brew it like beer, and that doesn't really. They feel that doesn't make real mead, and they decided to name one of their meads after my character.
Well, I got to say, Rob, that's cool. Number one. Number two, I know you're a teetotaler, but even you can make an exception for mead that's been named after you. Certainly, can't you? Come on.
I had a drink.
All right, all right. Now,
All
when
right.
you bring it up with you, Rob, bring a bottle or two up with you, and I think that would be a worthy ShireCon raffle. Number one. Number two, I want to have a drink with you once in my life. So bring that shit up, and we'll have a drink.
Okay.
All right.
All right, and I would appreciate, Eric, and I'm going to give you the link, if you could link this, because they do mail order.
All right,
cool.
hold on.
I'm going to order some.
They've been in business for a year, and it's really all they do. And they did it for a couple of years back as like a hobby to trying to pay for itself.
Yeah.
But they had enough business that a year ago they actually rented a building and put in a little restaurant, and they brew small batch mead.
It's pretty cool. Called Blissful Meads. You just click the link
Yeah.
there. Are you 21? Yes, I am 21. God damn it, I'm way over 21.
Now they say that the raspberry is the most popular.
Is that why didn't they call yours the raspberry then? Damn it! What the hell? All right. Oh, it's a place too. It's a place you could go. It's not. It's like they got burritos, tacos, a street taco, whatever that is, torta, nachos. All right, man. This is cool. It's pretty cool. They got a little Ivy Gimlet. They named that after Tim's Ivy.
I don't think so. They don't know Tim.
Oh, okay. Well, I figured Meadville is small enough. You might know everybody. You know.
But you see the mead by the bottle entry in those.
Yeah.
So that's a coat of arms for one of their friends when they're back from the LARP days. And all their
cool,
mead they name their meads, and the labels they designed for it hark back to those days. And as you walk in there, it has that, cozy feel. It's all wood, dark wood, and they have a fireplace and one side and with tables and stuff. But if you look carefully, you'll see an artsy portrait of Darth Vader. You'll see a map of Middle Earth. You'll see Frodo's sting hanging on the wall, and it's very cleverly done. And
how come why can't I buy your bottle of your mead, man? It's not there. It's not letting. I clicked on the buy the bottle here, and it's not
email me. I think they just did it.
Okay.
It's a special limited edition.
Oh, it's like the Bud Light can. Is your face on
it? Rob from 20 years ago. Dun, dun, dun.
That's pretty cool.
So I thought you guys would get a kick out of that.
Absolutely. Bring that shit up. We got to have a drink, man.
And not only I was happy for them, and I was thinking, wow, something other than role playing I can give to the guys at ShireCon.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. We'll have a drink together up at ShireCon. That'd be fun. I didn't think I'd ever have a drink with you. This is pretty neat.
Just one, no, I don't.
All right, one bottle. I know, one bottle each. I get it. That's all I do too. I limit myself to one bottle.
And to the credit, I don't like peach drinks, but when I tasted it, it was good.
All right. That's pretty cool. All right, good deal, man. Yeah, ShireCon's coming up. It's sneaking up fast, man. What, 6-7 weeks, right?
I submitted my game.
Me too. Yep, I'm doing a Friday night.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing a Friday night and a Saturday afternoon. No Saturday morning this time.
All right.
So I have another announcement that is gaming related.
All right.
So I am going to be posting my last post for how to make a fantasy sandbox. It's going to finally be complete after 14 years. And it's going to have the random table. And along with that, I'm going to have a document that collects all the setting stuff that are contained in that post see. Present.
Oh, here we go.
Share screen. I
Hit the
know.
bingo card. Hit the bingo card out. They already hit LARP and Rob's presenting. It's coming. I can see it on his face. It's coming.
Go right there, Eric.
All right, hold on a
Let's
second.
see here. I got to see this. So, Rob, this is a compilation of all 14 years worth of posts in one thing.
Well, okay. So I'll get to that in a minute. But this one
All
that
right.
I'm releasing tomorrow, it's just the compilation of the setting stuff, like Black Marsh, except as you can see on this map, it's just this island. So
Okay.
it's going to have a background.
All right.
And I'm going to make it open content under the OGL for now. I'm still sorting out. It's still the posts were all made with Swords and Wizardry, so it has to be OGL for now. And then it has all the terrain and some of the details of the terrain found on the island. So in addition to the last post, people are going to get all the ruins and lairs, and we're going to get little maps of the settlement, and along with who live in it. I detail a small a castle town.
Those are some good maps, Rob. You can tell that's high quality. It's not Matt Jackson level. I mean, this is good stuff here. You really pulled out all the stops.
You're really tempting fate, are you?
You really pulled out all the stops there. You know, you didn't go cheap like you know.
Watch it. You may get hung by a rung.
Uh-oh. What, did you finish out ghetto style and get a Matt Jackson map in there? Is that what
Yeah.
you're gonna say?
No?
Yeah. So anyway, and then I have an entire castle town map here. And then I'm going to wrap up with NPCs, random encounters, and then and I'm going to share this. It's going to be all open content. This one, and then I'll release that with the final post. But as far as compiling all the posts, well, that is going to be
you there?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm working on it. I can't.
Okay.
I can only click so fast, Joe. I'm clicking as fast.
I've noticed that if I'm talking on the phone with somebody, like in a Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting or something, and I'm typing like, "Oh, I'll send you an email right now," I have to stop talking to them to concentrate on my typing, because I apparently have lost the ability to talk about a different topic than what I'm typing about. So I gotta pull the old man move. I gotta pause here while I type this, and I'll talk to you again in a minute.
My multitasking ability is
Okay, I'm sharing the manuscript, the other manuscript, Eric.
This one. All right.
So this is going to be the Houses Fantasy Sandbox, and I'm thinking about. I'm going to. You offered to look at it, and then edit it, and I appreciate that. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do a Kickstarter. I don't think I need to do a Kickstarter for this.
Have you ever done a Kickstarter, Rob?
Yeah.
For what? I missed it.
I just gave my copy away, but yes, for my basic rules.
Oh, okay. No shit. All right.
Yeah, you have a copy.
I had the basic rules. I don't think I did a Kickstarter to get it, though, did I?
Yeah.
Then
no, I sent it to you, Joe, because you're a cool guy.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember backing a Kickstarter for that, I don't think.
Yes, I made $3,000 on the Kickstarter.
Oh, okay, cool.
Had a couple hundred backers. It was very nice.
Oh, that's right. I did edit pre-Kickstarter. That's right. Fuck me. I did. Yeah.
So anyway, this,
as
you can see, my only Rob would show you a air circulation diagram. It has all the posts, and I went through and re-edited them, cleaned them up, combined them, but it is essentially the combined post. And I'm still going to leave the originals up there, but I'm going to once it gets edited, then I will really, lay it out and send it through the approval process and drive through.
Here's how the edible's kicking in. It looks like a T-Rex there on the right-hand side, just going to try to bite something, doesn't it? Right? and
my
look down there.
Yeah, yes.
It does, right?
I don't have an edible in me, by the way.
It does. And then the thing below it looks like Tweety Bird's eye, right? You got the nose is facing to the right, and you got the eyeball above the nose and some hair. Looks like a Tweety Bird head. And like the T-Rex is going to eat the Tweety Bird.
Yeah,
the edible.
Now I can't unsee it.
Rob, I'm sorry. This is Joe with clouds you couldn't believe.
Mhm.
So anyway, I continually get see what the views this month was, but Bat in the Attic, click on design, stats, last 30 days. Yeah, I still get, I got 1,070 views for how to make a fantasy sandbox post. It's like I'm an idiot for not finishing this earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not in it to make money, but having a little bit of money helps me do other things better.
Yeah.
So,
Money's nice, man.
And I have 181,000 views of my how to make the fantasy sandbox post. So I'm still working on my other projects, but at lunch one day at lunch, or it took like 3 lunch hours to complete, but I completed the last post. And then I didn't want to release it right away until I had this draft almost done. And I had the island thing that I just showed you.
Dude, release the last post along with a link as to where to buy this thing. You know what I'm saying? Do it all at the same time. Don't release the last post until there's a link to buy this thing on drive-thru. Time. You got to ride the wave.
How fast you can edit, Joe?
I don't know. When are you going to send it?
We'll be sending it this weekend.
All right. So give me a week, and I'll get it to you by next weekend. That way, it gives me a time crunch. I'll have to do it.
I don't know. What does everybody in the comments section think? Should I wait to do that, or?
I think it makes sense. You're having a big to-do, here it is. Here's the big, the big release, and here's the link if you want it all in one place,
I mean, Matt Jackson's already complaining that he has Alzheimer's, so
that's true.
I don't think that we need Matt's opinion on this.
You're going to be looking it over, Joe, and if you think it needs, further editing, then you can see what shape it is in. So it is a first draft after all.
Well, how about this, Rob? I mean, why don't you release it here? Click the post button. If you're using Blogger, wasn't it Post Now or something like that? Click the post button here live. Go live with this last post period, and then have the link there. People could go buy it. You might as well make a big party out of it, man.
Like now?
No, 2 weeks, or 4 weeks, or 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Just time it with a show. We have a big party. It's live. The last post 14 years later. And by the way, you want to buy that shit? Here it is.
All right, let's do that. Let's see where we are in 2 weeks.
Yeah, either 2, 4, 6.
And here's the thing: you could include a special discount that we would put up on this screen, so only the viewers who watch this video get the discounted price.
I'm all for that.
Yeah,
look at that, folks. You see, you see,
especially those who stick with this for the to the 2 hour mark. So,
oh my God. I don't know if I'll be sticking with this to the 2 hour mark. I'm going to be at the.
I'm gone after an hour.
Yeah, no. It's funny, and by the way, they've been doing street repair, which means ripping up the street so they can put down a new street on top of the old street. Because this is one of those streets that for years they didn't remove the old asphalt; they just built on top.
Yeah,
and if they did that continually, it would be higher than a sidewalk, so now they got to strip it. So I've been getting up earlier in the morning as the jackhammers and the grinding is going on. And last night I looked at my watch and I was up in the middle of the night. Apparently, oh, look at that, 3 hours and 40 minutes of sleep. But by the time I drove to my sister's house and checked my watch, it told me the hour and 20 minutes in traffic was quality sleep time.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
It was restful sleep. That's what I couldn't. It wasn't just all right, you got shitty sleep. No, you're in traffic. We're gonna credit you. I don't know if I can. That top. I'm gonna turn off my camera. My face. I'm gonna. I'm gonna go right for the no virtual background. Hold on. All right. Don't get excited, folks. So if you look at that top bar, that was like an hour and 10, an hour and 20 minutes of driving.
Uh
That bluish purple is
huh.
restful. So from 1250 to 210, it's almost all restful. What the fuck?
Dude, I tell you what, if I was an hour and a half in traffic, there would not be a purple restful bar. It would be whatever the bar would signify enraged and ready to kill somebody bar. That would be the bar that's going.
You
Well,
know,
look, guys, I know what you mean. I experienced the Long Island Expressway going out from New York at 5 o'clock in the afternoon to get to
well,
the other end of
You should
Long
have waited,
Island.
dude. You should have waited till like midnight.
here's
No,
the
no,
thing.
no. My boss, I went out to Long Island because that's where my company's headquarters is located. And they, for those of you who don't know, I work in a manufacturing plant and I write the motion control software for the machines that we build. And the company, the owners also own they got into the manufacturing side after being salesmen of these machines for years, and they still have that business going. So they have usually have special projects going in the New York area that they need my expertise on to do some programming and stuff. So though years ago they would pull me out of Meadville and send me out there, and of course the way it works from Meadville is you get up at 6 o'clock, start driving across 80. Pennsylvania is a huge, long ass state, and by the time I get to New York City, it's 4 o'clock. I have to go across the George Washington Bridge. I have to
Oh
go
yeah.
across the Cross Bronx Expressway, and then, well, going from the Cross Bronx Expressway down to the Long Island Expressway wasn't that bad. Because Cross Bronx Expressway is scary. It's like you're in a canyon of death.
And Canning is right because there are potholes deeper than my Honda Civic. All
Yeah.
right, you could get lost in that goddamn LIE, man, or the Cross Bronx rather. Yeah, that's a shit
The
show.
cross
And then
Bronx.
you get on the Long Island Expressway. Often there was a blue sky or whatever, nice day, but and
Parking
you
lot.
see nice places on left and right, but you're in a parking lot
Yeah.
just waiting.
Dude,
Oh, I can move 5 feet.
I was in that parking lot at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I was in a parking lot. My 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 Apple Maps took me the physically longest route I think I've ever driven to my sister's house, going from the LIE to the Van Wyck to get onto the Cross Island on the north, and then the Cross Island on the south, off the Cross Island onto the Clearview. I was like, what the fuck? And it was only because we had to go out and watch and take care of my sister's cats and guinea pigs, because they're away.
Well,
watching
and to make it nice, I did this in the '90s when cell phones were just
Oh
phones.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have a GPS and a Google Maps to try
no,
to
no,
follow.
I know. No, I said, do you wish to reroute and save 6 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck it, yeah. Next thing you know, it's like, wait, I'm watching the time. But wait, I've already lost those 6 minutes, and now it's what the
Uh-huh.
like, come
We
on.
lost. Speaking of lost, we lost 4 viewers as we started talking about traffic.
Oh,
So
All right, we can get back to gaming.
no.
There's something else that's
So
gaming related that just hit the news
yeah.
today.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Pathfinder released a preview of their upcoming core rules.
now, how is it different than the goddamn thing I bought, which I bought as a big fuck you to Wizards of the Coast and a thank you to Pathfinder during the OGL, and I bought their 2E players, the 2E book. And then 2 months later, we're going to re-release our 2E. I'm like, motherfucker, what did I buy this for? What the hell, man?
OGL. So we got to scrape out the OGL, which they claim they already scraped it out. By the way.
What does that even
Okay.
mean? Yeah, anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so this is going to be the Wizards of the Coast free. This is the beginning of this is some of the stuff they're going to do to make this free of the Wizards of the Coast IP. So for first off, it looks like they're not going to have ability scores anymore. I mean, and they're in addition to changing ability to attribute, you're only going to have a +2 strength, a +4 strength, instead of an 18 strength or a -2 strength if you roll crappy. I'm sure the table you roll these on is still going to be a 3d6 table, but uh, that's that's what this paragraph is about. And then people were wondering, how many of the names they're going to change. And for the most part, it looks like just pretty much proper names. I mean, the one game term name they changed ability modifier to attribute modifier. But for some reason, they decided to change the Abyss to the Outer Rift, Quinn to Scholastic, Attack of Opportunity to, well, that's another game-related term. Some reason, City of Brass to Medina, Medun, whatever. I apologize.
Mithril. Why Mithril? Mithril goes back to Tolkien, if not before that.
Yeah. Actually, that Mithril is not
sense.
how Tolkien spells Mithril.
Rob, can you make the screen bigger, Rob? My old fucking eyes, I can't see all that shit, man. There you go. Oh, those too big. All right, there you go. One more.
Okay.
Go one bigger.
I'm big in it.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, so Azir, I can see them changing that. I mean, I'm sure that Azir is some public domain source, but the particular form that TSR has it, or Wizards of the Coast has it, why they would name that. Spell focus component, and so you can scroll, so you guys could download this.
So, folks, you can make pencil changes in your current edition to make it compliant.
Yeah.
Like the old police patrol guide. These are your changes. Break out your pencil, line it out, and then write in the new.
But you notice they're not changing hit points. They're not changing armor class.
Oh, yeah.
It smells to me they are changing spell level to spell rank. So that's gonna throw that's definitely gonna throw people. It isn't bad as though changing hit points to hits or some other term that we're not used to.
Right.
But it smells to me like what they did is to say, okay, we don't want to run afoul of the fact that if you have, yes, all these terms, we could use them individually, but when you collect them all together, that could be that entire collection, that specific of 100 odd terms could be considered copyrightable. So they must have considered, if we change this number of terms, and they chose the one they could vote off the island, so to speak. The one they could sacrifice. Tools is going, why me? Why me? Why I have to be axed in favor of Toolkit? That way they could claim that their collection of terms, which includes hit points, level, class, all the goodies, it doesn't violate Wizards copyright. If it was to come up. And then they look like they're tweaking the system itself. So if you guys, that's not probably relevant to us in the OSR. Except spell names. I bet some people in the OSR are going to look at carefully what they're going to do for spell names.
I mean, that's the thing. Like Magic Missile, so damn iconic. Everybody knows that Magic Missile is, a D&D spell, right? Sleep could be kind of genericized, but Magic Missile is a D&D spell since day one. I mean, can they use that? I don't know.
Well, they could use Magic Missile, but when you combine Magic Missile with the, fact that it's an always can hit, roll to magic.
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting.
Blazing Bolt.
Yeah, see, I don't know if the Blazing Bolt is supposed to be a sub. No, it's a level 2 spell. So, rank 2 spell.
With that.
But so that's interesting.
They should have went with tiers for spells.
And the last thing is here's their good news. We can see right here from their monster stat block. We still have strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. And you can
Yep.
see we still have the skills, you
Yep.
know, of acrobatic, arcana.
Yeah, they changed the shit that doesn't matter that much, but might as well change it because it won't hurt much if we do change it because it doesn't matter that
Right.
much, but it'll make a distinction. So therefore,
Therefore,
yeah.
you still have 4 to 5. You still have the 3 saves.
Uh-huh.
There's your AC, your hit points. So, yeah, I think this would be a good, there'll be a lot to mine here. Not
Yeah.
so much in specific mechanics, but the terms they use for OSR people if they want to use the orc license. So,
I know that Matt Finch talked about his Swords and Wizardry was released. He un-OGL'd it or whatever. You know what I mean? Essentially, he had to change some stuff and whatnot. What would Matt Finch's thing have to change from? I don't even understand what his stuff. What would Swords and Wizardry have to change in order to un-OGL it?
No, he hasn't shared it with anybody. So
that's what I'm just thinking. I mean,
I had some conversations about it, and the last conversation was a few weeks after his Kickstarter was finished up, and closed. And he was thinking to doing what the Alexander Macris of Adventure Conquer King was doing, changing terms like armor class to like defense class or something like that. And however, I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. He's definitely thinking of a license that's like the OGL.
Right.
He did wanted to add an additional clause that somehow prevented people from copying sections verbatim, and it wasn't worded well. It would have made me gun shy of using his stuff.
You know what's interesting is he was he was going to create his own license, calling it the ELF license, EELF or something, and then
no, that's the rule of law guy.
He wants an ELF license, ELF. But I thought Matt Finch was talking about a different thing that sounded like ELF, but ALF or something like that. But that's going to be confusing.
Oh, he hasn't finalized anything. He went the last proposal with that clause that's trying to spike people copying the book verbatim. And I guess he heard from more people than me because he shut that down a few days after floating it.
Yeah. Well, did he fulfill yet? Did I get a link for a PDF from him? Is it done or not? I haven't checked.
Yes, we got the book is done. He just hasn't finalized the licensing or the SRD that he's going to release.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so yeah, all right. Interesting. So did he use the OGL or he just un-OGL'd it and it's common? What is it now? What is the license in the book that he's claiming, if any? Do you know?
I don't think it has any license.
Nice and nothing. Just like Greg's, just like Ambition and Avarice. Yeah. Shit. Well, there was other news today. Eric, did you find that link we were talking about earlier?
I did. Give me.
Yeah, this is interesting, guys. It's a video. I got to listen in sketchy parts. It's only a few minutes long. It's by Bob the World Builder, and it's a bit of news about Wizards of the Coast making a deal with and like a partnership with an AI person, something like that. So I got to listen. I got to skim it a little bit as I was driving here. And like, this sounds interesting enough to maybe do a little commentary and see how it goes, And we don't want to get into AI arguments again because Rob is still bruised and battered from that last time. But just as a maybe consider, what's going to happen? How does this affect things? And Bob the World Builder got a haircut. You go, Bob. You sexy mofo.
I never seen that Bob the World Builder before, so I'll take.
It's a good channel, actually. He's funny.
He was pretty on top of the stuff when the OGL stuff was going down.
Yeah.
And he was one of the ones invited.
Yep.
To,
I think he went.
Yeah. So
I
haven't seen this yet.
Yeah. We can maybe just pause, react, that kind of thing. But it's definitely news related to what I don't know. He really doesn't get into too much detail. Just hey, breaking news. Here you go, kind of thing.
Well, Emerald has an article too, which I have not read yet. So
do they? Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Here we go. Let it rip.
Bob here with a tiny bit of news. Feeling like Ted from Nerd Immersion. I just saw this article. Actually, it was linked in a video from the team at comicbook.com. Hasbro announces partnership with Explored to bring AI, smart technology, to games.
Now, when he's saying games, let's focus here on the fact that He's not coming out and saying tabletop RPGs. They're
Nope,
not
this
saying-
is Hasbro, not Wizards of the Coast, too. So
Right.
big partnership.
right. So you remember Hasbro has license for was it Transformers, Peppa the Pig, and other. So, I mean, Peppa could be artificially intelligent and be your friend on your on your kid's tablet. I don't know. It's gonna be a new smart platform. Oh wait, no, we'll focus on this new smart platform for board games. Now, here's something to remember too. When these non-tabletop RPG news sources talk about RPGs, what do they call them?
Board games. Yep. They, yeah. Yep.
So, just again, I haven't seen this
We
yet.
get even after the record-breaking years we had. We
Yep.
still get no respect.
Mhm.
Hasbro's partnership with Taburu Maker Explored will focus on new smart platform for board games. Board games, right? So here we go.
And look, even he's got D&D on the screen because he knows
Yep.
they don't. To them, anything that's played at a table is a board game. And if you're going to be using AI for a table game, likely it's going to be virtual. I'm throwing that out. I don't know for sure. I'm just saying, like, we're not going to be sitting around on our, I don't know, Alienware laptops, gaming at a convention to play a D&D session. So AI would be coming in, generally speaking, on a virtual tabletop.
Yep.
But
If you're like me and you've never heard of Explored before, they are an Italian company best known for making Taburu, a kind of console made specifically for board games. It looks like the cool features are it uses smart
that actually looks kind of cool. I mean, but if you, I don't know, D&D on a surface like that.
I don't know. I mean, what part does the thing play in the game, right? We'll roll the wireless dice on any surface. So you're rolling dice wirelessly, yes. Now, what will it do in the background that would affect the tabletop, right?
Oh, okay. So we all know Matt Jackson. The love of his life is solo RPGs,
That's
right?
because he got no real
Oh,
friends.
but that's only because he can't make love to ladders.
Okay. So yes, I expected that saying about Matt Jackson, but should have been on Matt. Anyway,
To defend yourself, you should know better by now.
but on all seriousness, how do these solo role-playing games work? A lot of them have a well-designed set of random tables behind them.
Yep.
So what this is going to be doing behind it. See, as I contended, every time we talk about it, the AI technology, the generative AI that everybody's all talking about, the heart of it, it's a random table generator. That's what it does. It collects massive. Now it's not just like 5 or 6 levels that maybe one of Matt's solo RPGs have. It's like thousands of nested random tables. So the result seems incredible when you try to roll up a result, but it is what it's doing. It's rolling up the result. It looks at your input, calculates which tables it's got to roll on. It rolls on it, and then it completes in the form of an answer or however your prompt is designed, the response.
Yeah, but
So-
that's not how Matt plays it. He just cheats because he doesn't want to lose. That's so when he just rolls a dice, he just interprets them however he wants to.
Well, that's
That's
a detail specific from Matt.
Yeah, I know.
okay?
He cries if he loses at his own game, so he just cheats. You know. Well,
So
I won.
the application of generative AI to a board game is that they could train it on the rules, or maybe have a front end that's a little bit more
Well, let's see.
doesn't
Let's see.
hallucinate. By
Let's see if there's any more details. Then let's see.
Okay, yeah, sure. Sorry.
All right, hold on.
dice, so physical dice that you can roll, but translate the results digitally into whatever platform you're using, and other sensors to keep track of gameplay and resolve rules in real time. So reading
Wow.
Resolve rules in real time. So whether or not you made your save, whether or not you hit, and I'm guessing it will know from where you're at if there's and the facing. Well, all right. Well, you're facing away, so they get a +2 to hit.
Mm,
I mean, it requires physical components. This is not going to be theater of the mind.
yeah.
It's going to require physical components. Now, without going any further into the video just yet, this begs the question: if they're making this something that can be played at a table, like we're looking at here, does this mean that the expectations for the growth of D&D is like, oh well, if we can't get people onto a VTT, we can make a physical VTT for their physical table? I don't know.
Well, no, I find this interesting because that means they're marrying the last generation of the last revolution in AI, which was vision and speech recognition,
Right.
and text recognition too, because one thing that enables the current generation of AI is they can take one of those speech or visual, because when you upload your picture and you have DALL-E or the other generative AI try to manipulate your picture, it's using vision recognition on there to form the prompt that it's using behind the scene to manipulate the image. And so that's all mirrored in the last generation's work. So it's interesting that they're going to use cameras that can interpret the board in front of you and mate that. So that's pretty cool that they're doing that. It makes sense to me.
Okay.
Right from the article here, interestingly, Hasbro believes that this could be a way to incorporate AI into its board game line. As the global leader, and this is a quote, as the global leader in tabletop games, we envision a future where technology seamlessly integrates into analog gaming experiences. That's not.
Again, they are very focused on the virtual tabletop, and it seems to me probably because many of the people, not just at WotC, but at Hasbro, come from companies like Microsoft, that they feel that these board games can no longer just be static and using people's imagination. Whatever we're talking about, whether you're talking about Pandemic, or you're talking about D&D, or you're talking about the Call of Cthulhu board game, they're thinking that their edge, that they're going to step ahead, is by making it a board game plus.
Yeah. There's no way they're not going to try to incorporate it, because all the cool kids are doing it, right? Everybody is trying to get AI into everything they do because it's the thing, and everybody wants the experience so they can put it on their resume that they're on the AI team for Dungeons and Dragons. So that you know what I mean? This is what people want. They want. Who wants to say I published a book of game rules? I just edited the same shit for 45 years. No, who gives a shit, right? It doesn't get you to the next step. But AI, AI will get you there, man.
Hey, you guys probably don't remember this, but I said years ago that some point, I don't know how near future it's going to be. It's not going to be the next century. It's going to be way sooner than that. But you're going to have a bar. You're going to have a flexible LCD screen, which you don't quite have yet. They're getting better. That you roll out on the table. You plug in the bar that has the CPU in it and any like USB ports or anything. And then you can pull up a game on it. You'll have one or two options with this device, and that is you can play with virtual tokens and pieces using it as a touchscreen, or you can buy a set of pieces for a specific game. It would be more specific. They might have generic sets that you know how like some of the Parker Burger games they all use the same kind of bond.
Yeah.
But for something that's more specific, you're going to have to buy the set. But the touchscreen technology, the technology that's labeled touchscreen, will also be able to sense the piece, or in this case, might now have to expand that the bar will have a camera on it that can see the board, and then you can actually play, because that's one of the things that drives the board game boom is that you have physical tokens
Yeah.
that are cool to play around with on the board.
And then you got the right at that point, though, if you think about it, what you're talking about is essentially having a chessboard with chess pieces that when you move them on the chessboard itself in front of you, everything moves to the screen on the computer next to you, right? And then the computer does the back end shit. But you're moving pieces. So you get to move your token of your barbarian fighter or a barbarian, whatever the fuck, orc or whatever it is. And that token gets now moved on and you can even have a video splash on your screen next to you. And then if the barbarian, so my barbarian attacks the orc, and then you see on the screen, the barbarian is swinging versus an orc, right? And so you get to see this graphic of what your little token on the thing is doing right then and there. That'd be kind of freaking cool, actually,
Yeah, and you know what? When I first said that, what I didn't consider the fact that now they have portable LCD monitors that are about, the size of a tablet.
Yeah.
They don't have any smarts in them. You just plug them with USB-C into a port, and your computer or device recognizes it, and it acts as a second monitor. So I can see this bar that you unroll the screen from, then it has a slot where you can plug in one of these monitors and does just what you said.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to do the thing where you have the orc token, you're a barbarian token with his big old two-handed battle axe, and you type into the computer my barbarian on C3 attacks the orc on A4, right? And next thing you know, the screen shows like an orc stepping up to a barbarian, and if you roll the dice, the screen picks up the nat 20, and that means it's like chops the head of the orc off, and there's blood everywhere, and the gore and the sound effects. I mean, that would be kind of cool, actually. That would be kind of cool.
That's kind of like what Star Wars, right? When I have they always let the Wookiee win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that could be pretty neat, man. All right, what else?
Yeah, except Star Wars is holograms, and I don't think people will like playing with holograms. They want those pieces to be physical.
Yeah,
and it's the board that's going to be the hologram.
Because get this, Rob. I mean, you're talking about what you're going to have is generic pieces, right? And you could screw in something on the bottom to attach to it. So you buy the screw-in thing, which has all the data. You screw it to the bottom of any piece, and that way you only have to buy one or two or however many player tokens you have there, right?
Right. Expect them I'm thinking they're going to play with that format a bit before they hit on the one that really works.
Yeah. That's interesting, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You heard it here first. You heard it here first, folks.
Not the end of the quote, but right there, it's like, okay, no more just physical gaming. We want seamless integration of physical and digital gaming. Continue.
And which we were just talking about.
Yeah.
That does seem to be what their goal is, but that's because they don't understand how something that is not hooked up to a computer intelligence, whether it's a video game console or your phone or something like that, how it can be enjoyable to people. But not only that, this is something that they could say, well, to keep this working, you got to be connected to the internet. You got to pay your subscription. And don't worry, your subscription's only $1.99 a month for the first year. And if you pay it in advance, it's only $14.99. And then they got you hooked, and then you're in. I'm talking out of my ass, folks.
I don't think you are. I mean, your sarcasm is warranted. I mean, look, right now we're seeing the kind of beginnings of a shakeout on the streaming service as they proliferate. People are getting tired of, do I subscribe to Peacock? Do I subscribe to AMC? I mean, I just want Netflix that has everything.
I want the old days too, but I mean, Netflix and Hulu, you had everything you would ever need in a universe, and then they started taking their stuff back. Now Hulu sucks ass. Netflix is pleasantly surprising me lately. I sign into Netflix. That's my twice a year. Watch everything in a month and then unsubscribe kind of a thing I did. But lately I've been like, all right, I'm done watching. I think I watched that show you recommended, the Viking show, right? The Last Kingdom. And I blew through that in 1 month. And I'm like, all right, cool. Now I could unsubscribe. And I'm like, ooh, what's that show? Now, you know what I mean? I'm watching the 3-part biography of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And after that, I'm like, what's this?
Well, I heard that's good, by the way.
It's really good. I got 2 episodes in. I really enjoyed the hell out of that. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I got to watch the last half of the third season of Witcher. Thank God it's better than the second season.
It can't be worse. I mean, fuck's sake. I refuse to watch it, knowing what they're going to do to it and shit. And Henry Cavill himself is saying, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. They're not sticking true to the lore. Fuck you all. And he's going to go.
I don't know the lore, but as a fantasy story, the third season better than the second season.
I mean, like I said, it can't be worse. But I'm looking forward to what Cavill does with. I think didn't he announce something related to 40K? He's going to do the Warhammer universe something. I mean,
oh, he'd be.
Oh, great! And nihilism is us.
But it's interesting as shit. But he knows this stuff. He's a geek.
Yeah.
Like me, he's a sexy geek. Apparently, I didn't know, so I didn't. I'm in good company there. But he's a true geek. This guy, he likes all this shit, And so if he's going to bring Warhammer, and one thing he announced with Warhammer is that he's going to keep it authentic to the actual lore, which was a complete nut shot to the Witcher people, who are changing everything up. So that was kind of cool. So I trust them to do it. I wonder when Joe Manganiello is going to
the Witcher showrunner.
Mm-hmm.
The author behind. From what I understand, the author behind The Witcher was okay with the arrangement. I don't know if he's okay with they're thinking about doing it, but he's not like he's not like Alan Moore, who disowned the Watchmen movie and very vocally disowned the Watchmen movie.
He's getting paid, dude. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like whatever. Alan Moore's a lunatic, right? So I mean, he's kind of crazy guy, right, compared to most people. But I'm curious. I'm very curious if Joe Manganiello, that other guy. I'm in good company. My sexy DMs here, Manganiello, right. Stephen, Cavill, me, we're all in good company. So anyway, I wonder what he's going to do if ever he gets Dragonlance. He's been hunting Dragonlance forever, wanting to make the Dragonlance 3-book chronicles into a show. He wanted to do that forever, and he keeps pushing it, and I don't know. Now
he's got all this free time.
Well, yeah, his wife dumped him.
Well, no, it's not quite.
She left him for me. That's the stuff you don't hear in the background.
No.
That's she's.
You heard why they got divorced? You read the article? Okay.
No, yeah. What do you have? Too many D&D books?
No. They divorced because when they got married, his thing was, "Hey, I want to have kids," and she was like, "Okay." Now she already has a daughter from a prior.
Isn't she like 50?
Well, 51 now, I think. But when they got married, she was younger, so. I guess the biological clock ticked and went. So she apparently has one child from a prior relationship, and she has frozen eggs from her ex-husband from 2014 or 2015.
With which she has impregnated?
No, which she doesn't want to terminate she wants to have them just in case. I guess maybe she can always have somebody else bear the child.
Yeah. So they're not. The eggs are not impregnated with the husband. You said from the ex-husband, not from him, not from his sperm, just from when she was married.
Well, no, they're fertilized eggs.
Oh, by the ex-husband.
By the ex-husband. So apparently, Manganiello was like, "Hey, this kids thing isn't happening. You told me we're gonna." I don't know what she said, but I guess it was like, "Yeah, I decided." So he still wants to have kids. So that was theoretical.
Only Joe Manganiello was such a badass to trade in Sofia Vergara for a younger model. That is a big fucking badass move right there. I gotta say, kudos to you, mofo.
And so that's what and Mr. Gunn says that she's a lush and he's sober. So
what is a lush or was a lush?
She what for? All right, was a lush and he's sober. I don't know if is.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So let's go back to Hasbro.
Doing the quote, and working with Explored enables us to deliver innovative gameplay to our players and fans, limitless digital expansions to physical games.
What does that mean to you, folks? Limitless digital expansions to physical games. It means that they can build on a game, never have to actually physically produce anything for it.
Yeah.
All digital, right? All downloadable. No storage. No shipping. What was that, Rob?
DLC.
And think about it. This is the same. I don't want to call it disease, but the same manner of thinking that Wizards of the Coast has.
Yep.
This way, you sell a board game before you bought Monopoly. You played it until you no longer gave a shit about Monopoly. Then you pull it out years later, and you pull it out as a party game, and then you see fucking friendships go out the window because people are fighting over Monopoly and you sold them what? No. So this will now allow you to, do you have Monopoly's latest digital content?
What do you upgrade Reading Railroad to put a bar car? I mean, what? How do you increase Monopoly?
Do you have Monopoly, the Los Angeles version?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
you have Detroit? I don't have Detroit. Oh, you got to get Detroit.
Yeah.
There's nothing like I want. It's like, come on. But think about it. That's what they're looking at. So, I mean, yes, this is the future. You will have nothing and be happy.
Hell no. I got 3,000 books and about 700 records.
I have a counterpoint to Miss Mario Evil.
Yes.
Evil DM, and that is sure the future digital, but they will not know what hit them because they will find that the same digital technology they're trying to leverage allows the one-man shop to effectively cater to an audience.
Well,
may not be an audience of millions, but
well, see, but Rob, you're assuming that the technology will be open. The technology isn't open. Like if I buy this Hasbro thing and it isn't open for me to hack or people to hack, you can only buy your content through Hasbro. It's a closed shop, right? It is a closed market. It is a monopoly on that technology. Now,
well, I mean, open source is still going strong. So there are competitors who will advertise themselves as being the good guys and will be the good guys.
Oh, I'm not saying that won't happen. What I'm saying is Hasbro is looking to establish themselves first out of the gate, first across the line. And first out of the gate is often first across the line. And first across the line will get the lion's share. And I'm not saying that other competitors won't show up. We've seen that with everything, certainly. But they are literally banking on the idea that they're going to be the ones that set the trend. And yes, Detroit, you get stabbed on 8 Mile and you buy dicks. And I don't know what kind of dicks you're talking about, sir. That's a different Detroit. Never.
You finished it with Dix Avenue there. Yeah.
Oh. All right. Never mind.
Took me a second, too.
Games. So we could pause there for a second. Limitless digital expansions obviously sounds like bottomless digital purchases.
because we are under monetized.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not a terrible thing. I even said after my breakdown of the interview with Kyle Brandt, all those digital micro.
He let himself go. He cut off his hairs.
Transactions of buying digital miniatures for your virtual D&D tabletop is not that much different from how when people go into their local game store and buy a miniature.
Yes, it's very much different. Because if I'm buying a digital miniature, then give me like 1,000 because it costs you nothing. So I should be able to make multiple copies of my Drist miniature. And I think I got my 1,000 elves. I don't need the rest of your shit. But these things are going to be sold digitally as 1111001, 111002. Exact same thing, but they're serial numbers. They're going to make sure you've got to buy multiples if you want multiple, just like physical.
Yeah.
And they're going to charge you an amount that, well, if you bought this in pewter, it would be $7. But since you're getting it digitally, it's only $1.49. It's costing you fucking jack and shit to make it.
Yep. I like that Stroke Summit. I like that. That's exactly what it was.
But anyway, limitless digital expansions to physical games, seamless onboarding, and powerful AI-driven game mechanics. So let me be 100% clear.
What's that, Rob?
So the most effective use of that, if they're fools, the expansions will be trivial and people will go blah. But if they are like the Gloomhaven expansion, then it could be quite addictive because there are games like Gloomhaven who people just love the core play, and then the game itself is designed that they could just buy this additional module and use Gloomhaven in a whole new different way, different deck of cards or whatever. So if they do it that way, it could be a moneymaker for them.
In the example we used before, I mean, just think about this, where you have the board and you have the mini with the thing on the bottom that the board reads and it shows on the screen what you're doing, and then the visual graphical AI, generated AI in the spot, sword fight basically with you and the orc, right?
Right.
And so what if you can have your piece and it's on the board and you paid $25 for the little magnetic thing under your piece, and you told it what it looked like and whatnot. So you got this little model of a barbarian on the screen now, and that's your generic base model. You're fighting a generic orc, right? Now, what if the DM wants to have that orc be wearing some blood-stained spiked armor? Oh, that's only 99 cents. And what if you, the player, want your barbarian to be swinging a fiery looking battle axe, right? Oh, that's only 99 cents too. And so next thing you know, there's a battle. It's like the old nuclear arms race. You keep upping the cost of how cool the characters are in each fight, right?
Well,
it's ridiculous.
Microtransaction we're talking about.
Yeah.
And even though that's still a thing, it's kind of disappearing out of the mainstream because it's backlash. Instead, there are specific games that form a niche, like World of Tanks or World of Ships, that do microtransactions, or the app games like Bejeweled or whatever that microtransaction. But the games that people are rebelling against it.
I still do it. I mean, I don't play, as you guys know, I don't play video games that often, but me and my brother used to log into DDO, Dungeons and Dragons Online. We played for a year or two and it was fun. Then we just kind of stopped because, it all gets old after a while. But then it seemed like every time around Thanksgiving or Christmas, we both log in, we pay that month's worth, and we got our old characters. We start at level 1 and we do, true resurrection, start at level 1 and just play for a while. And I was always into like buying credits in order to buy the magic cool thing, the good look, the stuff that came out in the last year, that this cosmetic. I'd drop $50 on that or $100 I'm doing it for a month. I never minded it, but I can see if you're playing all day, every day, and you're just grinding out shit, and every month goes by, new and greater things come up that you can only buy with a purchase. I'd be pissed off. That would annoy the shit out of me.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings Online was the same way. And, but the thing is those are also legacy games. They stem from the area where microtransactions become the new hotness. I'm not sure. The newer AAA titles, I don't run into it that much. But then again, I don't buy many of them. So
right,
the ones I've encountered seem to now adopted the occasional DLC. Like the one I got into is called Satisfactory, where it's a factory building game, and they're about to launch their first major expansion for that, and they've been out for a while, so it doesn't feel like they're really trying to milk you for what it's worth.
Let's see what else. We're only halfway through. Jesus, 5-minute video, 20 minutes.
In no way are they saying, or is this guy saying, oh yeah, the new virtual D&D tabletop is going to have any of this stuff. It's just saying that in general, Hasbro's looking to incorporate some of these things into their games. And I'll even point out that seamless onboarding sounds cool. The whole awesome thing about ChatGPT is how well it produces human-like speech. We know it's not good at math and it's not amazing at creating human speech yet. So something like that, but better, to teach you how to play role-playing games could actually be kind of cool. But the reason I bring this up is because, of course, we had about 6 months ago, no one at Wizards is working on AI DMs.
Dun, dun, dun.
Got the receipts. Calling them out.
No, there's no such thing. They never gonna do it. No one at no one. By the way, when they said no one at Wizards, that's the moment that you got to go. All right. What about a Hasbro? What
Out of
about
Hasbro, yeah.
what about a partner? No, no one. No one on this very corner is smoking crack, officer. Nobody on this very corner has crack. What about marijuana? Nobody here has crack, officer. Just saying. All right.
No one at Wizards is working on it because they hired it out to some independent contractor. And that's a true statement then.
Yeah.
Because that was a big rumor. We love our human DMs too much. If you're looking for a DM, go to their Discord, whatever. So maybe 6 months ago, no one at Wizards was working on it. And maybe 6 months ago, no one at Hasbro was even working on it. But now we definitely have people at Hasbro working on bringing AI to otherwise analog games. And it really feels like now it's only a matter of time until it makes the jump to D&D.
Or maybe it's just Hasbro investing in AI to please their stockholders or something. I don't know. Listen, you don't know. However, AI is the hot shiznat. It drives conversation.
Yep.
And if you can corner the market early on, right, you then become the default.
Yep.
And I would guess that's what. I'm not saying that's how it's going to work out. That's the mindset behind this. Doesn't mean that's how it's going to work. You just need to understand the mindset.
I saw that Jeremy from the Recording had a thing today about Netflix is looking to hire some kind of AI integration consultant person, supervisor, boss, whatever the fuck, for like $900,000 a year. So yeah.
Well, the big studios should be careful about AI because while I disagree about its ultimate implication of how far it can go. One thing I do know, though, is they're going to make it more and more user-friendly. And so what took, it's like the CGI for a Marvel movie when they bother to put any effort into it. You can throw you could throw $100 million at it and you get $100 million worth of CGI that looks amazing. And that's still true today, but the end result of the type of technology that generative AI represent, especially when it couples something that's a little bit more deterministic, because the thing hallucinates. So there's sometimes you need accuracy.
Don't we all, Rob?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
So anyway, my point being is, it will give the small guy the capability to make a big budget film. For example, there is a studio called Angel Studios, and they have gotten their start about producing this multiple seasons of the life story of Jesus. And I've watched it and I liked it, I enjoyed it, and it's really well done. And it's not cheap, but the quality on there is like, there was the Jesus of Nazareth that played in the 70s, big event. And that was expensive, they call it, a couple million to produce. But these guys did it on a shoestring budget, and it looks better.
Well,
than
think
Jesus
about this,
of
Rob.
Nazareth.
Think about this. I mean, you got the writers on strike, and that's going to keep going on for at least another month because they need to cancel shows, and they could do it under force majeure, which is like the force of nature, like God, an act of God.
You're cutting out,
And
Joe.
I'm sorry. Do you hear me now? Is it better? All right. Basically, the writers are on strike in Hollywood, and Hollywood is going to keep them on strike for long enough so they could do the force majeure cancellation clause in their contracts. They could cancel their show because of something act of God, basically, and that gets rid of all these shit shows and shit writers in sort of a backhanded way. And the studios, by getting rid of shit writers, thinks they're going to save money. They're going to use AI. The AI is going to create the first initial drafts. They're going to have to pay less people less money. Now you have editing, right? And so these writers are out. They're out of jobs. You have AI generating the first draft, at least, if not final drafts. And then think about this: 20 years later, once you've destroyed the writing industry, right, and thinking, oh, we got all the money for ourselves, AI is going to be so fucking sophisticated. I could order up a movie of whatever I want. I could enter in the plot of a movie of something I want to see and the actors I want to see in it and sort of the basic outline. And then AI will generate, just like the goddamn holodeck in Star Trek Next Generation, a whole fucking thing. And it might even be holographic by then. But eventually all entertainment is going to be ordered on demand. You want a hamburger with cheese, onions, and no tomatoes? Good, you got it. You want a AI generated hologram that you could actually participate in, maybe, and you're sailing to Epsilon 5 with Captain Kirk and the Enterprise, but standing next to him is Luke fucking Skywalker with a lightsaber, and you're Chewbacca. Boom, you got that, right? And so entertainment is going to be on demand. Who the hell needs Hollywood anymore?
I am going to disagree that it's going to be that easy, but what you said, that one guy can push a button and have all these things.
Yeah.
My endpoint isn't too far off, believe it or not, from what you say. Instead, it's going to be one talented scriptwriter or one talented director type.
Yeah.
Who had okay scripting skill, but he will be able to push that button, and he will be able to take all these things and produce something that it's on par to like a Marvel movie we see today. I believe. And I believe that a small team of 6 would kill it as far as that goes, using these tools. And that's where the war is going to be fought. So these big studios, the only edge that they're going to have is the fact that they own the Marvel IP or they own the Babylon 5 IP. That's the only edge they're going to got.
Yeah, but then you could create something in the style of Babylon 5, and next thing you know, the AI spits something out that looks like, the same people from the movie, a little bit off, Yeah,
but the average person do that will produce crap, and it's just going to be like videos on. It's going to be like videos on YouTube. How many crappy videos are there versus the good ones or the competent one? Because that's Bob appears to be one of those people who are able to make videos competently, but there are people who do it better than Bob, but they're few and far between, and but there are a lot of people who don't do it better than Bob. And that's the way the future of AI.
But the difference in Bob and these other guys' videos is they have these flashy, splashy introductions. They have interesting graphics or videos or something like that as they're talking about various points. And that's the hard part of that. We could all do that, but who wants to devote the time? The fact that AI could do that for us in just seconds, everybody's gonna have that level of flash and splash.
But under my theory says yes, you can produce something in seconds, but it's just like it's like hitting a button and having something the size of the traveler map appear in seconds. Yeah, you could do that, but it's not any good unless you put some work into it.
Well, yeah.
So you're back to the same problem.
I think the difference is the difference between good and good enough. There's like good is how my house normally is clean, right? But it has to be really good and not just good enough. If like the future mother-in-law is visiting for the first time, what I'm saying? There's levels, right? So I mean, and good enough is good enough for most people. Rob is going to make it. I think it'll make it so easy and it'll be so high quality that eventually you won't notice a difference, man, between what you tell AI to create for you and what Disney puts out. And it got to be better than what Disney puts out these days.
I think there's always going to be a difference between the raw output. I'm talking raw output. The one that you get.
We'll see.
I think I think it will be easier for a small team to make something that's good as Disney can do now, with the maturing AI technology. But it will never be a case. But as far as the good enough territory, I'd say sure. But those people will realize that the good enough territory doesn't really impact the guy who tried to do it for money because they're not good enough for commercial work.
Well, first off, Rob, I'm going to say, look at the RPG industry, and you see a lot of people who just do good enough. Mm-hmm. All right, that's not everybody is Rob Conley when it comes to the quality of the work they put out, but there's a lot of people who put out good enough. Now,
and what are their sales like? I mean, that's the metric, right, Eric?
Well, it is a metric, but it's not one that concerns them. But it does lead to a bloat in the marketplace, and it leads to a lot of other products probably not being seen. Now, to go back to the AI part, though, of Joe's prior statement, which I found extremely funny, because my AI, my built-in brain, when Joe was saying, fly sail to Epsilon 5, my brain was playing Mad Libs and already went sail to Epstein Island. So it's saying one thing, and my brain is doing a Mad Lib, which is
You
pretty
pervert.
much what AI is, right? And
Yeah.
it's making an assumption. So it already goes to show you that you don't actually know what the output is or output's going to be from what you put into the AI and to what you get out. The more skilled the individual is, obviously, the better the output is going to be. But many people are going to be happy to do just enough. And I got my, 600, 700 loyal followers who want to see the next AI episode of Finnegan's Island.
Yeah.
Because I've got my list of castaways, and I kind of ripped scripts away that were Gilligan Island scripts, but changed just enough that it feels familiar, and nobody cares, right? They're enjoying it because it's close enough.
And talk about close enough. I mean, think about this. Talk about Gilligan's Island. The first thing that every motherfucker our age is going to do is get a Gilligan's Island porn thing where we're both doing Marianne and Ginger at the same fucking time. Am I wrong, gentlemen in the audience?
Hold on a second. Let me write that down.
What's the text for that one? Who doesn't want to go there?
So let's just say that comes to pass, Eric.
Yeah.
What?
So
Marianne
and so the problem, if I heard you right, the problem that it causes bloat in the market, right?
I didn't say it was a problem. I'm just saying that's going to be an effect. Whether it's a problem or not is going to be up to the market. And
now, do we already have? But what if we already have that issue, that there already is bloat in the market?
Well, there is in a sense, Rob, and it's a good thing in a way, because right now is a weird time. This guy Robert Meyer Burnett I like on YouTube. He has a good show there, Robservations. He's in Hollywood, been there for 40 years or whatever. And he talks about what he sees and how entertainment is changing. He's a major Star Wars geek, huge Star Wars geek. In any case, he talks about how back in the day you had competition on TV was 3 networks and Channel 5, Channel 11, whatever in New York or something like that, right? So, and then you had the movie competition, which was a bunch of studios, and that was it. And he says, but what these things are competing for is your fucking time, right? And so on a Wednesday night, the movies aren't really competing with your time. If Fonzie's on, it's 1977, you're not going to go to a movie on a Wednesday night. You're going to watch Fonzie, right? But your options for entertainment are pretty limited. Radio, whatever's on the TV, or if there's a movie or something like that, or maybe a show. But right now, their entertainment options in terms of either a movie or a show experience have expanded so greatly that we have Disney's network competing with goddamn fucking cat videos on YouTube, right? We have TikTok competing for your time versus YouTube. We have all these various things where who knew that the latest Marvel movie would be competing for our time with the endless stream of TikTok videos? Because that's what you're fighting for, is your brain time, the time in front of a screen. How many hours a day your face is in front of a screen, right? And so you now have, instead of Disney movie competing with a Warner Brothers movie, you have a Disney movie competing with a girl with big tits jumping up and down on a fucking trampoline for 2 minutes on TikTok, right? And who would have thought that'd be competition? But it really is. It's competition for your time watching a screen. And I think that's pretty interesting. So what you have right now is, I watch YouTube. I subscribe to fucking I have Hulu, Netflix, Prime, and maybe one more. And I watch YouTube more than any of those 3 combined.
Oh, I watch YouTube enough that I actually subscribe. And
Me too. Me too.
Have no commercials.
Yep. I started that over.
You know what I would think would be interesting? If somehow we could get a live feed to the new title list that's on Drive Through RPG, and I think it would drive it home for people just how crazy, how fast stuff is coming out that's not the result of AI, just from ordinary human.
But Rob, you do have that live feed. Just you'd have to keep updating it.
I know, but I could show you now. I went to Internet Archive and pulled up their newest title from several days ago, and it's a completely different list than the one I'm looking at right now on Drive Through. And there was a conversation on the SJ Games forum about 2 years ago about board games in that regard, and they were just. It was I think actually Phil was talking. No. It was when we had. Is his name Phil, the guy we had from on our show who was president of SJ Games and now doing Kickstarter?
Oh,
Phil Reed. Phil Reed. Remember Phil Reed said it's the board games are just crazy. You put out your product one day and you only have 2 or 3 days before it's crowded with other stuff.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. You got to find. You have to find your audience fast. Here, let's go back. Let's go back to the video. There's a little bit left.
We're almost done.
And we're almost done. And
We'll make it.
And I'm running out of steam. Not because of the video, just because of 2 live streams.
I just wanted to share this with the community so more people will hopefully hear about it and get the discussion going again. So if you found this interesting, please like.
There we go. We went to the end.
We did at the end.
I will make sure that I add this as a pinned comment to this live stream so folks can catch it at the end. Bob World Builder, he asked some decent questions during the OGO. I think he could have asked some harder questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not everybody's the asshole that you're looking at on the screen right now. So, I mean.
There's a reason you went to people like them instead of people like us, right? I mean,
I want to get called. I want to get called back.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah. Why aren't you picking up my call? Oh, it's 10 call. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, Bob's by all the rights I've heard people talk about him. He's a nice guy, basically. So he's decent. So
aren't you glad we did all that show prep for you all?
Yeah, we stretched a 5-minute Bob the World Builder video out to 40 minutes of bullshit. That was pretty impressive, right there.
We went through 3.5 minutes actually.
3.5.
I think we proved Einstein's theory of relativity with that.
If you have enough monkeys at typewriters, sooner or later, they'll type War and Peace. Maybe.
No, I think that when you approach the speed of gaming geeks, time stretches out to infinity.
Mm-hmm.
We work at it very hard, folks. We work at it very hard.
We talked for 10 minutes about traffic. So, 10 minutes about being stuck in traffic.
Traffic from 20 years ago.
Not even current traffic. Yeah, it was old traffic. Jesus Christ. We're a bunch of old fucks. What are you going to do?
Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Breaking news. Newsflash. Mr. Beast may have investment in Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. At Hardwire Tattoo Channel shows a collab between Jimmy, a.k.a. Mr. Beast, holding a piñata filled with explosives. Then Dungeon Hobby Shop owner shoots the .50 caliber. I thought that video was an old video. I've heard he's been bragging about knowing Mr. Beast for years. I'm not bragging, but I know somebody who was on Mr. Beast's team, the son of a good friend of mine. It doesn't mean that I know Mr. Beast. So take that for what it's worth. But thank you, El. I'll make sure that we get that. I'll send our intrepid team of investigators on that one.
Speaking of which, the Mail Order Hobby Shop has a YouTube channel, and they put old commercials of like TSR commercials on there all the time, or advertisements, or just people talking about it. Where the hell did they get the rights to those archives? Isn't that copyrighted by somebody? Is it owned by somebody for God's sake?
Wait a minute. Before I forget, you asked how did Matt Finch release the latest of he took advantage of the 5e SRD with Creative Commons BY, and if you look at the cover page of the newest Swords and Wizardry book, he puts the citation that Wizards wants, the credit citation that Wizards want. But the book itself isn't open content. It's just
so as long as you credit the citation on whatever thanks Wizards of the Coast or whatever the fuck you got to say, you're good to go.
Matt thinks so, and okay, that sounds good to me.
All right.
Matt's a pretty smart guy when it comes to that.
Matt certainly is. So it's a story that the association with Mr. Beast a certain someone in Hardwire Tattoo have been talking about for at least the last 2 years. So bragging about the connection. So I don't know if this is new news or old news. We'll dig into it. Sorry about that, Rob.
No, I interrupted Joe. So, Joe, you have the floor.
I forget what the fuck I was talking about. Because we're
Well, that's
old.
good. We are old. So wow, I did an hour and 40 minutes before this hour and 40 minutes. Holy shit. Imagine where we would still be if we had everybody on like Greg and Matt. We'd never be able to wrap this shit up.
Well, we'd hear Matt snoring after half an hour because his nap time is 8:30, so we wouldn't hear too much out of him.
That's when he turns off the camera and just, you know.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of coming up shows, we have to at some point, Eric, talk about the tankies categories and submissions. I mean, we only got a month.
I don't think we're doing tankies this year.
No?
I don't think so.
All right. Okay.
I think I think what we'll do is we will sit down with Tom and make plans for next year and be organized and get it going.
All right.
But we're not gonna.
No time.
No time. I don't think we can do it and do it justice.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
So, other than that, holy shit! Thank you for the extremely live audience. And I kept up with you all pretty much, except when we were playing the video. Because I can't have two things on my one screen. I couldn't keep track of both.
You don't have two screens?
I do, but my video was playing on this one. If I put it on my vertical screen, it would have been like yay fucking big, and then people would have complained. So, other than that, folks, there's a live stream tomorrow night. Gamers Health. Join us. It's always a beautiful time. It's always a good time. Thanks to Rob. Thanks to Joe.
Thank you. It's fun.
Next time I do, tomorrow's live stream, I'll still be 55. Yes, I will turn 56 though on Sunday. So
wow,
congratulations!
Thank you.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. Every birthday is a beautiful one.
Mm-hmm. It's always good to be alive. You know, wake up, you're 6 feet above rather than 6 feet under. That's a good thing.
Yes, I will second that.
You know, it's funny. I was texting you guys the other day about when I go to the gym. It's a lot of younger people, this and that, but it's close to me, and I like going there. It's nice. It's about a mile away, and I walk in, and there's a group of us old fuckers. I call the old group, the old fucks. We just you can tell we're all about the same age, 50 or older. And whenever we see each other, because we're older, we don't just go up and start talking, right? We just give the nod. We give that, hey, I recognize you, and then at the end, we all give a nod leaving. And I know the vibe behind a nod. Like when you meet you, it's like you see him coming in. Oh, good, cool, man. You fucking got it. You did it. You got here, even though you're old and you're in pain and you got shit going on in life and you probably don't want to be here. It's the nod of, good job. And then when you leave, it's a nod of, all right, no heart attack in that workout. You're still alive. Good job. Hope to see you next time.
No ambulance is called.
Yeah.
No CPR kit brought out.
No paddles needed,
Wow. Yeah. What I'll probably be doing, despite the fucking heat, is I'll probably do my 20 minutes on the treadmill, maybe 30. My guilty pleasure is I'm watching a Green Lantern cartoon on my iPad because I might be in my mid-50s, but Green Lantern's still my hero, and there's never been a good live action Green Lantern ever. So,
didn't Seth Rogen do that or some shit? Wasn't he in one?
No. The guy who does Deadpool did the first one, the Green Lantern movie, and that's why he makes fun of it, Reynolds, because it was a bad movie.
Huh.
Oh my god! But the animated stuff isn't bad. I gotta give it credit. All right, folks.
Thanks very much, all.
Yep. Hopefully next Random Party Generator in 2 weeks. You'll want to tune in because Rob is going to be releasing a product. Rob is going to be giving a special link.
Maybe.
Only.
Maybe.
Hopefully, only on this channel to get a nice discount for our loyal viewers.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll be getting a draft to Joe by Sunday. So.
All right.
We're aiming for 2 weeks.
Yep.
All right, folks. As always, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll the dice, roll them well. Like I said, live stream tomorrow, 8 p.m. Gamers Health. Me and Rach hope to see you there. Later, folks.
Later, guys.
Bye.